Hello everyone, I'm Dheeraj Pai and today we'll discuss about the academic integrity policy of this course and what constitutes for cheating and academic misconduct. Within 2 weeks of the start of the course, you will be assigned a study group. Each study group will be at most of 4 people. You will also be assigned with one study mentor. Throughout the course, it's very crucial for you to collaborate with your study group so that you'll have a very good experience, whether it's homeworks or quizzes or even projects. And it's very essential for you to understand what constitutes for collaboration and what is uh, cheating. There are four parts we'll touch upon today. First, we'll discuss about the quizzes, and then about homework part 1s, homework part 2, and finally the project. The quizzes are generally multiple choice questions. You might want to do some numerical calculations by hand, or some of them are programming related, and some of them might want to go and read a research paper to answer that particular question. When it comes to homework part 1s, you need to build a DL library from scratch without using any of the AutoGrad libraries that exist right now, such as PyTorch, TensorFlow, or JAX. You just use NumPy to build a library, MyTorch. And for homework part 2, you have Kaggle competitions and you'll train the neural networks mostly using PyTorch. And finally, the project, which is generally open ended. So when it comes to quizzes, you can discuss doubts with your group mates. You can discuss the topics related to the questions. You can recommend sections from the lectures, recitations, or reference books, or even links from the internet when it comes by specific to that particular topic. And when it comes to coding questions, you can even help with specific functions that might be necessary to solve that particular problem. What you cannot do is just ask the exact question to your groupmate and get the answer from them, or go and see the answers to solutions from your group members. We deliberately randomize all the questions and the numbers in the questions so that each one of you get a unique question. Do not go and solve questions for your friends. Do not share your code and do not solve solutions when it comes to numerical analysis questions. And finally, if a question requires you to read a research paper and then solve it, don't pinpoint the exact location that solves that particular question. The whole point of the question is for you to go and read the research paper and understand the research paper to solve that question, and just pinpointing the specific location will totally defeat its purpose. Last but not the least, don't search the exact question on Google or ask any LLMs. The questions are pretty complex, such a way that the LLMs will always provide you some wrong answers, but still, we recommend you not to uh, ask LLMs or Google. When it comes to homework part ones, we encourage you to discuss the write up before attempting homework part one. Discuss it with your group mates. You can discuss the pseudo code. You can explain your code to your group mate. You can look at your friend's code and understand, but do not write code by just looking at your friend's code. You can, if there are any autograder issues, if there are any debugging issues, you can help out your group mate. That's totally allowed. And while solving questions, if you know if there is a specific functions or specific classes that can help solve the particular problem much faster, you can refer that and also help your group mates uh, by referring them the same. What you're not allowed to just copy code, whether it's from your friend or from the internet. You're not allowed to write code to your friend. You can debug at places, but you're not allowed to write code for your friend. All your code will go through the MOS software, and if there is any similarity between your code and your and other classmates code, as well as the code from the internet, you'll be supposed to answer to the course instructors. When it comes to homework part 2, You'll be training a neural network. So just like how you discussed the write up in homework part 1, we also encourage you to discuss it over here. But at the same time, we also encourage you to kind of strategize how you are going to attack the problem as an entire group. You can divide and conquer. Like, you can divide some hyperparameters for, you can divide amongst yourself what hyperparameters each one of you are going to attempt, or what architectures you're going to try it out. You can create van big project teams or groups and share the logs and the plots that you, and the training plots. You can get inspiration from existing DL implementation or some open source implementations. You can refer to the state of art, the state of art architectures or the papers that are very successful in this particular area. And again, you're not allowed to copy code, whether it's from your friend or from the internet. uh, you're not allowed to use any pre-trained models. You're supposed to write the model architecture from scratch. You're not allowed to take the model architecture directly from any of the existing libraries. No pre-trained models, no fine-tuning models that are already there on internet, no fine-tuning model from what your friend has already trained partially, and you cannot take it from him and then uh, continue training on that. Last but not the least, you're also not supposed to take data outside the homework, what is allowed for you to take from the homework. All the data that you need to train for that particular homework is already in the Kaggle. Do not get data outside the homework. Projects are generally open ended, much more open ended than the homeworks. You might want to borrow some code or model or even data from the internet. So, whenever you get code or model from the internet, just ensure that you provide proper attributions and also adhere to the licensing terms. Discuss with your TA mentor if you need any more calculations. Also, follow the research guidelines set by CMU. Do not plagiarize, do not fabricate data, do not falsify data. Just follow the institute policies. If you need more clarifications, there is a link for the same. Please go through that while you work on the project. Few last notes. So, when you make a private post, or if you have a private post, if you have any question, and if you need any, if you want to ask any question on Piazza which requires debugging, and if you want to upload some code, just make sure it is a private post. Don't post your code publicly on Piazza. uh, it's your responsibility to keep your notebooks and code private. Don't just leave it on some public machines, uh, say university machines or your Android directory. uh, if there is if any cases of AIV will always be handled according to the university policies. Please refer for the link for the same.